Hi guys, and welcome to my channel Weird is the New Black. I'm Kat. Apologies for the delay in getting this reading up. I am working hard out at the moment. I've got like 3 different types of jobs going on, and I'm doing tarot as well. So please forgive the delay, but I'm going to be hard out till Christmas, so I just don't know at what frequency I'm going to be able to record things. I've got a feeling that this reading is going to be done in installments as well, because I just was struggling with squeezing in time frames here as well. So this is all about your crush, and I'm just going to kind of roll with it to see what spirit brings up here. So this is going to be part channeled, part read reading up here, just because it maximizes my time. So again, apologies for the slight delay in getting this up. I will try and get a state of play reading up in the next couple of days as well. So we've got 4 piles, as you can see. The first one is the Wildwood Tarot, the Little Gospels Proverbs Oracle deck, the Thoth Tarot, and the Divination of the Ancients. So again, just be drawn to your pile and take your time to select, and as ever I will see you on the other side. Hello to those of you that chose the Wildwood Tarot, and I'll be shuffling this in alongside channeling here. So, wow, this person. I can see why you have a crush on this person, group 1. This is very sexy, very sexy energy going on up here with this individual. Do they crush on you back? Yeah, there's an intrigue. I would say this person is curious. You have pricked their ears up and they have sniffed the air and gone, what is this? It's a feeling of like you've got their attention. There's something about your energy that has interested them, intrigued them. There's a strong, curious, energetic going on here. It hasn't got beyond curious, but there is a strength to this energy. There is like a desire to kind of beeline forward and get to know you, or to kind of quiz you, or it's quite serious energy. It's quite an intense, it's a very intense energy. Who am I kidding? This energy is intense. This person may be very affable, very easy, very like easy to talk to. There's strong energy directed around their eyes, or through their eyes, or the way that they have the hold eye contact, or this is a very strong communication tool with this person that could be utilized for you here. They like unspoken obviousness. I don't really know how to put that. Yeah, like blatant unspokenness is what I'm getting on here, getting from this, but yeah, okay. The fox, there's the ears and the sniffing you out. Literally, I am seeing like dog-like energy up here, so I'm really pleased the fox has come out. This is the Knight of Bows in this deck, and there is a curiosity, but there's a natural wariness as well with this person. This person, I feel like, has been through an enormous transformation. I am getting a combination of things with that. I'm getting the Death card coming up in my mind's eye, but I'm also hearing like the scorpionic frequency of depth associated with like the ocean floor, or the depth of this person is deep, really deep, and they're looking for an equivalent depth. I feel like they are very capable of reading other people. They're very capable of feeling strongly. I feel like when this person gets in love, they are like, what, like 200%. It's 200% for this person. And I feel like they've really been either hurt or they've lost. There's been a loss here. Either it's heartbreak from relationships that they felt a huge amount towards, is what I'm getting, but it wasn't reciprocated, or it wasn't enough coming back from the other person, is what I'm feeling here as well. Because this person is so deep, not a lot of people match this person's depth. And so this person is kind of used to people being not as deep as them. And in a way, it gives them a sense of kind of something other. It gives them a sense of superiority, but not from the perspective of other people. It gives them a superiority. From their own perspective, it gives them a sense of feeling sad that they're not being matched. But they are kind of maybe deeper or wiser or more experienced, or they've had a lot to contend with, this person, is what I'm feeling, or like a real deep loss or some sort of space of having to massively transform. I feel like it's been a big struggle. I feel like that is the reason why this person is... Yeah, this person is definitely been disappointed or been let down or been heartbroken. There's a lot within this person that they feel that they can't express, or if they did express, it wouldn't really be understood or felt. So they're immediately obvious to people with depth. This person has a kind of a glow that is visible to people with depth, possibly visible to people without it too, but those people either want to control it, or they're jealous of it, or it intimidates them. It's a few of those things. And this person, it feels like this person feels like it's their fault that other people can't match them. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Just very few people can be on the level with this person, is what I'm getting here. And they've pinged you and your energy. They've seen it. They've noted it. They've found it interesting. And there's an observant, like really, really capable observance about this person. Like this person could be incredibly psychic. This person could be incredibly intuitive. I feel that they just are, even if they didn't use the word intuition. And I feel like they've dealt with maybe a lot of karma or karmic relationships or moon on the water. That's the depth I'm feeling with that watery energy here. It's like still water runs deep kind of frequency coming through. And there's an impressive aura of command about this person. And that's kind of showing up in the shadow behind here for me. There is a commanding frequency that this person has. And it's not like they look to dominate. They just are commanding. It's natural. It's kind of natural. People will look to them for advice or guidance, or just a good opinion, a solid opinion on something. Or I feel like this person is very rational. I'm seeing like the King of Swords in my mind. So there could be air energy up here too. I'm hearing Libra in particular as the frequency of what I'm getting is like an overviewed perspective where they can see things from both sides, where they can be very good in mediating situations or finding a balance. Or I feel like this person's really good at being able to kind of fit their energy into like social groups and being like, and they do it so well, they're able to be invisible in a sense, and they don't mind that. I don't think this person courts attention per se. They don't mind being like stepping back and observing frequencies. There's an inner wild in this person. It's like wild. It's wilderness wild. It's intense, but it's contained. It's very carefully. This person has like strong self-discipline is what I'm getting. Really, really strong self-discipline. I feel on a sexual level that if they feel like strong sexual attraction, or that there is an area, and I feel like there is a sexual attraction towards you, that they will kind of pull back from this, or they will kind of put it to one side, maybe, or try and just, and the more that they do this, the worse it's going to get. That's what I'm getting. The more they put a lid on this, the more it's going to be like unbearable attraction. That's what I'm feeling. So I think they kind of can make themselves feel held back because the power, the intensity of their sort of natural space, which is kind of wild and unbridled and deep, is so overwhelming for other people that they have learned to take a step back. Sorry about that crazy noise. My kitten is clearly going a bit nutty. Hang on. Oh, bollocks, hang on. So this person may come across as not really being interested in you, being a bit standoffish, being a bit sort of clinical maybe, or like removed in the heart space is what I want to say. They're very self-protective. They're very cautious. They're very wary. There is street smart energy here, even if this person's very intellectual, because they could be very intellectual. This could be quite bookish energy. I'm feeling like strong literary tropes going on. It's just like a Catherine and Heathcliff, or Elizabeth and Darcy Bennett, like, well, Darcy, whatever. Mr. Darcy, that was it. Yeah, I feel like, and that's fine. Like, Jane Austen's great, and she's like it's like the perfect example of like what women want or what men want potentially here as well. But the Catherine and Heathcliff thing gives me pause, because that is very turbulent energy. It's very passionate energy. It's very explosive energy. This person could well have had a number of, or, you know, one in particularly profound relationship that was very much Catherine Heathcliff kind of frequency. And that's why I say I feel like this person has dealt maybe with a lot of karma, because the Catherine Heathcliff stuff is like, yeah, explosive, you know, potentially like very aggressive and very turbulent. So I feel like this person is naturally retracted. They're naturally kind of stepping back and saying, okay, do I really want to involve my heart in something, or there's an interest, but it's going to take time with this person, is what I'm getting, because when they're in, they're 200% in, and that's a very scary space for them, because they're exposing themselves, all of themselves, and I feel like that is, people see it as very intense or powerful or strong or commanding, but it's incredibly vulnerable for this person, because that is like a real raw energy of who they are. And to be rejected or to be seen as too much, or to like scare people, I feel that they may have scared off a couple of people in their past, because of that these people not matching the depth here, but this person may be feeling like it was their fault that somebody didn't match their depth, because they love like so big. When they love, they love it's wholehearted. So it's not that this person is cold in the heart space, it's the opposite. This person is big in the heart space. So, and they know that can be something that's really overwhelming for a lot of people who are not as big in the heart space, and they don't know what to do with that. And I think some people flee or try and blame them for things, or it feels very unfair. And this person is very fair, like very fair and very patient. I'm getting that as well. But this person may frustrate you with the speed in which they come towards you, which may not be at all in this situation. The seer, strong intuition, strong intuition in this person's space, like strong, watery, reflective, intuitive, psychic capability, observant, and that kind of quiet energy that goes with the seer, because she's the high priestess in this deck, is very notable with this individual. But yet they're looking, and they think that they see you as mysterious and possibly very intuitive yourself. And I think that they part of them doesn't necessarily feel worthy of your energetic. This person, it feels like this person has been looking for this kind of depth for maybe their lives. And the idea of meeting somebody who matches that, which could well be you, is terrifying to this person, because they have had their intensity matched before, but it's been in a kind of pure animal energy or pure instinctual energy, whereas this is more measured. And I feel like there's nothing so terrifying as encountering something that you really want, right? Because especially when you've got used to telling yourself that you're not going to find it, or that you're kind of used to the fact that there's a part of you that is unseen by other people. I feel like that is, you know, their way of self-preservation at this point. It's sad that people don't see them to the depth, and they kind of long for that, but at the same time it's like a safe zone. It's a zone that, you know, will never be given up or never be particularly seen. And I feel like there's something about the energy of meeting you that has seen it, which could really scare this person. So like the tables have turned. This person may well intimidate other people, or not intentionally, because of all of this energy that they carry, but they are not used to meeting people who have that effect on them, is what I'm getting. And that's very intriguing. It's very intriguing for this person, and they want to kind of beeline straight towards it. But at the same time, they are very well checked, very well guarded, very, very cautious, naturally wary, understandably so. This person is, when they're hurt, they are hurt deeply, and it might take time, real time, to recover in the heart space, because so much of it has been invested or gifted or passionately felt. This strong passion. So these literary tropes, is the person into literature a you? Is there a literary connection to this space? Six of Stones, exploitation. I feel like this has happened to this individual. I feel like they have been exploited. I feel like their honey, their glow, their golden energy has been thieved or stolen, or thieves in the temple. That's what Spirit is saying, thieves in the temple. So this person has been kind of desecrated on a spiritual level, which feels really invasive and really, really difficult. And it could be due to great loss or great hardship here, that they've lost this glow, or they've lost this sense of security within themselves or confidence. But I feel like for a lot of them it's relationships. It's like actively being exploited, actively having people try to set about destroying aspects of them because they can't fully own this person. The wildness within this person is not an ownable force. It's an untamable force. It's a force this person has jurisdiction over, but nobody else has jurisdiction over it. And so Spirit kind of ends situations between this person and people that would seek to contain or trap or like monopolize some aspect of themselves that is kind of belongs to the world, is what I'm hearing, belongs to Spirit. This person could be very spiritual, very. And again, if they don't use that terminology, very ethical, very. Like strong ethics coming through with this person. Yeah, they might be pretty damn slow in coming forward. I feel like they might kind of spend a bit of a time, like you might spend time together and it might feel like quite intense or quite like, ooh, exciting or interactive, and then you might not hear from them. I think that's part of this person trying to get a grip on what they're experiencing, but I'm also feeling like there's a lot of energy towards the physical. So maybe they're working on something that's taking up a lot of time and energy, or maybe that could well be the case here, actually, that they're working on something that's taking up a huge amount of their time or energy or reserve, or they need to focus on money. That could be an element that's coming through here. 8 of Stones. look, they're working. They're working on building something, they're crafting something, they're in the process of quite a lot of hard work, energetic. I feel like they're refining skill sets is what I'm getting here. There could be in the legal, education, legal zones of work. Doesn't have to be, could even be just like an actual craftsperson here doing what they're doing, but there's something very fine-tuned about the energy that I'm picking up here, very clever or very intellectual or very well-rounded or well-read or observant. Yeah, this person likes to accumulate knowledge is what I'm seeing now. Yeah, it's like an inner library. I'll just squirrel this piece of information away, you never know when you might need it, kind of. They like learning things. This person is really kind of into that zone, into that space. They're really passionate about the things that they're interested in is what I'm getting. Driven, passionate. But again, this person might come across as like very in the rational or in the intellectual. It matters to them that they match on a mental level with a partner. It really matters. This person is a very impressive individual. I like this person a lot. Two of Stones challenge. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for this kind of match. They're looking for somebody who is worthy of their energetic, who can match their energetic, who can take the reins sometimes here in this situation. Because I feel like a lot of people put a lot on them because they have this commanding presence. They kind of automatically delegated to is my feeling, or that there's a few demands on them, not just on maybe a professional level but also on a personal level. It could be as well, like this person is just sought after. Bollocks, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. Don't come on too strong with this person is my advice. Casual interaction to allow them to build up information about you or observe you more so, or get to know you on a personal level. Don't hold back in your own authenticity with yourself, for sure. Never do that. But, you know, don't push this situation and don't feel frustrated if it's not happening at speed. It's not going to happen at speed with this person. It won't. This person, I feel, likes to do things by the book. By the book. Yeah, there's kind of old school courting going on in my head. Like it's quite traditional, this energetic. They want to do things properly if they're going to get involved in a situation with somebody. And if it's something casual that you're looking for or that they're after at the moment, they might not come towards something like this, which feels like it could be something more so. It depends how long it's been since they got out of this transformational energy, this kind of grief space or heartbreak space. I feel like they might not be interested at all in sort of furthering kind of romantic relationships, or they've been hurt by the depth of things, so they might not want to go towards something deep yet. But I feel like the slowness here will be beneficial or even exciting, and even the kind of, you know, the whole of Jane Austen is just a titillating kind of tease up to the finish of her books. And you know, it's that final chapter that I feel like somewhere is a hidden manuscript of like the night of the wedding with Darcy and Elizabeth, kind of somewhere she wrote that chapter and showed it to very few select people. I can't wait until it's found, frankly. And yeah. Maybe I should give her a shot at writing it, but nobody is Jane Austen, so that's the bummer. So anyway, slowness is what I'm getting. Celebration is coming up. If there's social events or group events, or you can include this person in group events, I think that would be a good idea. Again, it takes the pressure off a kind of romance kind of energy. It's like there's people around, there's an easygoing energetic that can be sort of pulled into this space. So if you can meet them in a group or be as part of a group or organize an event with more than like just you, or like, I feel that would go down well with this person. Yeah, we've got Seven of Bows clearance at the bottom, and for me this is like clearing the older energy away, so this person feels like it's been hard is what I'm feeling to say here. It's been a struggle. Four of Arrows, rest is just underneath that, and there's an exhaustion here. This person needs to recuperate or heal, or is still in the process of kind of gathering their strength. I don't feel they feel confident at the minute. I feel they feel unworthy, or I feel they feel like afraid of rejection. It could be also going on under here, or involvement, or they're not feeling great about themselves in terms of their confidence. So maybe bear that in mind as well, that this might not be the best time to initiate something with this person, or like doggedly pursue something here. I would definitely kind of pull back energetically, but do socialize, do casual coffee, casual energetic, or like a group of people, or and I think that would work really well. It's a good way of getting to know this person without like the pressure of it being like a one-on-one situation, which I think might kind of spook them. This person needs to be the one that like takes action, is what I'm getting, for their own self-confidence, and they try not to steal their thunder, like use them to, like, they will cue the energy is what I'm getting. Like you might get a bit of flirtation or a bit of something, and do respond to it, but this is kind of an educational energy to do with patience, and this person has a lot of patience, so it might be for you, it might not be. It like completely depends on your perspective. But I think that's all I've got for you. And very interesting and very sexy person. Very sexy. So lucky you. Slow and steady wins the race. Slowly catchy monkey. All right then, bye guys, see you soon. Hello to those of you that chose the Proverbs Oracle deck. If you like this deck, it is available, and there's a link below for my cards. Well, what am I channeling with this? It's giggly. It's very Fool archetype. That's what I'm being shown. I am being shown the Fool archetype here. I feel like this person is mischievous, a lot of fun. I feel like this person is very social. That's what's coming through, like chameleon capability in a social setup. You could airdrop this person into a remote tribe that nobody had ever met in the Amazon, and they'd come up with 5 mates at the end of the day, despite having 0 in common. This is this kind of person. I feel they could talk themselves into and out of many situations. But I feel this person is innately curious, innately keen to learn, adapt, grow, experience life. There's a very moving, fluid, energetic around this person. There could be a mutable sign, not necessarily, but there is this kind of mutability about this energy. Quicksilver, I'm hearing that, the Quicksilver energy, the mercurial element. So you could be dealing with like a Gemini and Virgo as well up here. There's something very salubrious about this frequency, very charming, very warm, engaging, Yeah, incredibly adept at dealing with people of all range of ages or cultures or backgrounds, or it's part of this person's calling, I feel, to immerse themselves like in different experiences which they may jump into, like the Fool. They may like, but they're fully like immersed in an experience or a space or a transit of time or a social group or a different cultural setup or a different country. Even there's like that strong traveler energy trope that goes with the Fool coming through, like super strong for me with this person. Like I feel like traveling, or yeah, maybe part of their life's calling here. If this person hasn't already extensively traveled, I feel like they may not stand still long enough for a long-term relationship. I feel even if it's not a locational movement, there is a movement here from one kind of mode of thinking or to another, or it's kind of faddy. There's a kind of, you know, this person could be perceived as quite flaky or like quite changeable, but there is kind of a calling here. So they are garnering or gathering this experience, or experiences, I should say, because I feel like at some stage in their future, it's going to be part of their life's mission or calling, in some way. And this person is very well liked. I mean, I feel like they get a lot of attention, and I would definitely say that this person does have options in a dating zone, usually most of the time, is what I'm feeling for this frequency. But the way that they date tends to be because they're fully immersed in something with someone for that period of time, and then when they jump into another immersion, that might indicate a beginning of a different relationship with someone else. It's like this person may have like love variety, just love variety is the spice of life. That is what is it's feeling like up here. Those who stumble twice over the same stone are fools. Interesting reference to the Fool. Yeah, I feel like this person just doesn't like to repeat experiences. They just want a broad spectrum of experiences, or a broad spectrum of psychology or culture, or yeah, there is this desire to jump totally into something and then totally into something different, and they don't want to repeat it. Those who stumble twice over the same stone are fools. This is the sort of person that would be like, why would I go there? I've been there. I want to go there because I haven't been there. There's a very adventurous energy going on with this person. Very appealing, very witty, probably very good at flirting, probably very good. Grief and joy are a revolving wheel, India. Yeah, there's I'm seeing the infinity symbol. I'm seeing the infinity symbol up here. I feel like this person is really good at adaptation. They're dexterous in some way with energy, and they make it look easy and fluid, but it's like they have the faith in the road, as in they will be met on the road by the right kind of spiritual force or the right signpost or the right, and they will go according to that energy. And it's not pre-planned. It's very in the moment, because that's also the archetype of the Fool. It's very in keeping with, it feels right, so that I will move over here, or I will jump into this thing over here. And it will feel right as long as they're immersed in that experience. This person actually, I think, really requires some kind of challenge. I think they like challenge. I think they wouldn't have any issue with being challenged. I think that they have sort of some people in their life that are like consistent energies, maybe long-term friends, longer-term friends. And these people are like their constants. And they're challenging, or they don't mind being very upfront, or they don't mind asking hard questions, or they don't mind quizzing this person, or like learning what this person has learned alongside them. Or there is this kind of frequency of like the few people that this person would really call like close. The rest of the time they can get on with anyone and everyone, but I don't think a lot of people would see the inner realm of this person. And it's very philosophical is what I'm getting. Grief and joy are the revolving wheel. It's very philosophical. And I feel this person would be very open to different spiritual things in different cultures, or different practices of religion or spirituality or theology, maybe. That's what's coming through. One does not rub buttocks with a porcupine. So this person, I feel like this person doesn't like conflict. I feel like they're pretty averse to it, actually. They would avoid it at all costs. There's quite a lot of people-pleasing energy in this person's space. They just want things to go easy, steady, smooth. And I think they're very good at maintaining that frequency, actually. But I think... they know when to back off from situations. They know when to not tackle the porcupine. They don't like things that rock the boat too much or too much drama. I think they'd move on at high speed or rapidly if things got too intense. They're on a mission. I don't know how else to explain it. This person feels like they're on a mission. So this person feels like a salmon jumping up a stream. That's what Spirit is showing me. And I'm hearing like the Lord of Misrule, and I just... This is quite naughty energy. This is kind of a Loki-esque quality about it for me. And there is a story, isn't there, in the Norse mythologies where Loki disguises himself as, I think it might be a salmon even. A fish of some sort, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this person is sort of designed to swim against the stream, designed to change the fabric of social situations or setups or groups even, by bringing in like an outside perspective, or like an alien perspective even, that changes people's concept of reality or perception when they hear this person speak. And I feel this person tells a good yarn, is what I'm going to say. I feel they're a really good storyteller, this individual. I'm getting that kind of mythological, allegorical energy coming through here. And of course, the fool is the bard. And the bard in the Druidic cultures was the carrier of oral tradition, like hugely significant in every kind of shamanic society. The bard carried knowledge from one space to another, stories, music. So this person could be very good at performance as well, as part of their kind of social integration. And, music may be an essential factor here. Doesn't have to be, but it could be, because it's a common denominating force across culture. So, yeah, I feel like this person is there to kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons in a way. I don't know why I feel to say that, but I just feel that this person could cause like mischief or maybe mayhem, or or a kind of change the direction of things, or change the perception of things, which does change the direction of things. It's a very like entertaining frequency is what I feel to say, but it's also their job to challenge. It's also their job to, you know, be ignorant or be like slightly offensive because they don't know better, or you know, struggle to communicate or struggle to learn, but their sheer enthusiasm makes this person incredibly likable because they're very authentic about their desire to take on board new experiences and from the perspective of others who are not like them. So, you know, that goes down very well wherever you go. That's the optimum traveler mentality. You gather together and you share stories and nobody gives a fuck about where you're from. It's what you have in common that is so significant, and as a result this person can sort of weave people together with this kind of thread-like capability, and it is quite extraordinary, the energy that I'm seeing in relationship to that. This person feels just socially incredibly capable, but I don't think they're looking for a long-term gig. So if you've got that in mind here, then I just don't feel it with this person. Like intense, temporary energy, like really amazing experience probably, or like a phase of life, or like a romantic like moment in time, which can be truly enjoyed if you don't try and turn it into a long-term gig, because that could result in significant heartache here, or heartbreak, or a sense of betrayal, or, you know, feeling like unworthy because this person is not giving the attention you feel you deserve at some stage, because I feel like they are distractible, this individual as well. It might not be, I think it varies with each of them, but it's more that they just don't want, they're not looking for a long-term frequency, because they know that they are in this zone of desiring to explore and immerse and explore and immerse. So I think that this person knows it would be unfair to kind of hold that out as something that they wanted at this point in time. So I feel like they are being authentic to themselves in as to where they're at and how they feel about what they want. They're in alignment with it. If it's not in alignment with what you want, it's probably not going to end up well. A kind word warms for 3 winters. I feel like this person is really good with language. And that's got real rhythm to it as well. A kind word warms for 3 winters. There's something very like compelling, articulate, conversational, social, curious, mischievous, fun, witty, very likely witty as well. Kind of character here. It's a very easygoing energy, a very easygoing person. As long as you take them for what they are and don't expect more from them other than what they are, this could be a really like amazing connective space, or really like mutually educational zone, or, you know, just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun, or casual sex. I mean, whatever you're into. It's just, but it's not got that long-term frequency for me. It's not got it. But I feel like, and this person, it feels like this person is interested. And if you were to show your interest, I think that they would respond well. That's the energy that I'm getting from that as well. But they have options. And it's a case of, do you want to deal with that? I don't know. Great minds think alike. I feel like you do have a lot in common, and there is a meeting of the minds here, or maybe good banter with this person, or really good, like, just fun energy. Fun. That's what I'm getting. Really fun. Like, this person has got like a truly endearing, like, straightforward kind of a charm, is what I want to say. Truly endearing, like, hard to resist this person. If they've got their eye on you, hard to resist this person. And yeah, I mean, look, you've got the vase in the middle and you've got the faces to the side. This is about seeing things from different perspectives, changing the perspective of things, changing it, switching your perception and your focus, and altering and adding to, like, wisdom and knowledge. And it kind of feels really free and emotionally open as well, which I really like here too. There's some kind of youthful energy associated with this, which is kind of twinkly and super fun. Super fun, sparkly. I'm seeing sparkling wines now. Yeah. It feels really good. It feels really good, and fun. But I don't think there's much more I can honestly say on the long-term thing. It's just not there. Teachers open the door, you enter by yourself. Yeah, let me think about that. So for me, this is a great deal of learning that can be gained in this experience from both sides of the fence here. Teachers open the door, but you enter by yourself. So I feel like this person has a lot to teach you, and vice versa, and that there is probably a mutual level of interest in finding each other really, really interesting. And that is very appealing to both parties here. And I feel like if this person sees that you have something of value to teach them, that they'll be very keen on engaging, because they just really want to suck up knowledge like a sponge. Like, tell me everything, teach me everything kind of vibe coming from your person. I mean, it is like really interested in life. And I feel like this could be mutually felt as well, in terms of the information that you could share in common, or the way you think about things, the way you see life. It feels like a real simpatico kind of an energy coming through, and like just a lot of fun conversationally, for sure, in this situation. Yeah. But you both have to be willing to know that it's a teaching and learning experience, right? It's something that you can learn a lot from. It's something that they can learn a lot from. But it's still, I feel, got a shelf life to it, this energy, for me. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, in general, though, it's a really, like, positive frequency. It feels really like a lot of fun. Love is not blind. It merely doesn't see. It just feels like you can't make this into something that it's not, because you will end up coming a cropper, is my feeling. So be careful to leap after the fall. You have to be called to leap, is what I'm feeling to say here. And I feel like this person often is called to leap. But I feel like you can't be called behind them to leap. Careful of following in the footsteps of the fool, right? It's a very specific calling. The bard, whatever you want to call it, the traveller, the wayfarer. If it's not your calling, you cannot accompany this person. So that's what I'm feeling to say, like, with this particular frequency up here. I'm not sure I've got much more in this, actually. Let me just have a shuffle through. Hang on. This could be a lot of fun, just saying. Lot of fun. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. I feel like this is your person. I feel like they're just driven. Driven. There is a drive here. There is a kind of desire to just like fuel onwards. It feels really, just like they're lit with the force from within. You know, there's people who are lit with the force, and you're like, where do you get your energy from? I'm sure there's a small like furnace of a sun burning in the heart of you. How do you get your, where do you buy that from? As this kind of person, they have this insatiable appetite, is what I'm feeling to say, for accumulating life experience, just accumulating it. And it feels like it suits them at the moment, and it's part of their nature. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the wolf changes his hair, but not his skin. And it's a pack frequency. This person is very much a pack animal, but this is somebody that can move from pack to pack to pack. They're so good at it. But I feel like this person is essentially the way that they are at the moment, and it's coming to terms with like, this is who they are. And if I accept them for the way that they are, this could be awesome, but probably temporary, likely. I'm not saying it's not entirely impossible, but like I say, it has to be your calling as well. And yeah, I feel like it could be a really interesting exchanging of ideas, or coming together in a mindset here, or just gathering each other's experiences and sharing those spaces. It's simpatico. It's like kindred. It's like meeting a member of the soul family along the road. It's just a great vibe that's going on with this, and it feels really natural and it feels really easy. So are you going to accept this person for who they are, or are you going to try and make them into something that you'd like them to be, but they are not? Ask yourself that, and then make your decision. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you. And if it resonated, please do like, comment, subscribe. It's lovely to have you on the channel, and I'll see you again soon. Bye guys. Mwah. So, unsurprisingly, I'm having to do this in installments. So, hey ho. Hey ho. Right, this is for you that chose the Thoth Tarot deck. So special, the Thoth deck. Not only designed by one of the most extraordinarily underestimated artists of her entire era, Frida Harris, who was absolutely amazing. And each and every one of these cards is testimony to her incredible artistic ability. But she also had to repeat some of the plates maybe 5 times or so just to please Aleister Crowley, who she volunteered to paint the Thoth deck for. And she volunteered just so that she could tap his knowledge of the occult and of the magical realm. And he told her that by way of initiation into the Golden Dawn, you had to draw your own tarot deck. That's 78 cards that you had to create as an initiation, which shows you how classical these cards are, because they're at the heart of the secret societies. And he got in a lot of trouble for, and I think he was like greatly disliked for breaching the code of secrecy that went along with those ancient orders. So we have to thank him for his rebellious attitude, because they have left us with one of the most seminal decks of all time. So yeah, Obviously you have a vibe towards the Thoth, so do I, though I couldn't read with it for years. Mainly because it's a very heavy energetic weight. But anyway, I'll stop blathering about the Thoth and get to reading. This does feel heavy, and that doesn't surprise me actually. It sort of correlates with these cards. It does feel that there's a big energy going on here with your person. I feel like this person has had a major impact in the heart area, and I mean major. I mean, this is like Tower combined with the Death kind of an energy. It's a sudden grief, and they could have lost somebody to death here in the past, or they could have had a crashing heartbreak is what I'm feeling, a really traumatic experience in the heart space, because it feels really tight in my chest, and it feels like shortness of breath could have been an issue, even hyperventilation or acute anxiety, for sure, even PTSD. There could be an energy of that as well. I am feeling also maybe heart issues and blood issues. That's the power of this impact, and it's hard even talking about this energy. It really is a just get my breath. It's an intense feeling. So what I'm seeing a snake. I'm seeing the snake swallowing its tail. I can't remember what that's called. Please somebody let me know. That's going to bug me. I'm seeing that as an indication of the time span of healing that it's taken so far. I feel that this person is maybe 3/4 of the way through their healing, maybe slightly more so. So there is this is the end of the cycle of a healing journey, but the impact that has happened in the past here, this person, I don't think, is in a space of considering a relationship, even potentially casually, maybe less interested even casually, because I feel like they're healing. I feel like they want to be at a place where they are feeling better, and I feel like this person can see the light at the end of the tunnel and does feel massively relieved by the process they've already gone through. I feel like this person's done a lot of work on themselves. This has been intense. Bloody hell, this energy is really intense. Success, yeah, they're getting to this point. I feel they can see it up ahead. I'm seeing like a light at the end of a tunnel. That's how I'm seeing it. And this is the 6 of coins, so it's about giving and receiving. And I feel like this person wants to give and wants to be in a space where they feel like fully there. This person may feel like removed, a little bit removed from reality, or you may be wondering whether they've noticed you or what they feel, or if there's something there. And I feel like there may be a recognition here. Beware that you don't want to fix, or you don't want to rescue this person, or you might really sense within them something here. If not, you might know about this already. But I feel like any sudden movement or any movement right now is not going to be something that comes right or that works out, is what I'm getting from this energy. And obviously if this isn't resonating, then do pick a different pile. But this person's not ready yet. They are still tail ending the healing process, and they need to go through all of this process like in a alone kind of energy. We can't expect anyone to kind of heal us, and like, it's like if you, say for example, you lose your pet, you can get another pet and you will love that pet, but it doesn't stop you grieving or missing your last pet. And I'm not saying that your pets or that this person like would see it like that. I'm just saying, you know, if losing something of such value to you is not replaceable until the process is complete here. I feel like this person is really sweet, is really keen on getting to the end of the tunnel, is really can see that it's not going to be forevermore, can see that they've come such a long way, but is tired of feeling this kind of sorrow or still the impact of a shock here. Because what Spirit is showing me is that the heart energy has had like some kind of explosion in the center, like implosion, explosion, something like that. Something like that. It feels like full on. And what I'm seeing is that at this point it's like severely bruised. So there's been a lot of healing, but from what I'm being shown, the bruising is so severe in my mind. It's like black, purple. I mean, it's really uncomfortable just to even look at it in my mind's eye, right? It's really uncomfortable and it looks really raw still, but that gives you the idea of the level of impact that this person has felt. Looking at where it is now, I don't even want to emotively go there as to how it felt initially. That's how big this energy feels. Lust. So there is a strong attraction here, and then pleasure at the bottom, 6 of Cups. So maybe this is a soulmate connection, and maybe this is what you understand is going on here. There does feel to be an unusual energy about this connection that is, yeah, it's very, I feel like it's traveled through possibly many lifetimes. I'm feeling that fixed energy. I'm hearing the word fixed when it comes to the Leo energy, because this is the Strength card, although it says lust, right? So I feel there is strong desire here, and this may be coming from you as well as what I'm feeling. A strong like recognition. And then we've got the 10 of Cups creeping out underneath. I feel like you might be like, oh my God, I really like this person. Oh my gosh, this is a something. I just know it. That's the kind of feeling that's coming through this. This is a something. This is meaningful. And I think you're right. But I feel like the friendly energy is a good space here, but you can't try and rescue this person. It will set up a bad, not bad, but you could friend zone yourself before you've begun. That's what I'm feeling. Don't do that, is what I want to say about this. Yeah, don't do that. Oppression. I feel like this is your person, and I feel it's like a massive burden, and whatever's happened here has been a huge blow on the fire force. They've been really knocked for shit, is what I'm getting. Just knocked for shit. And it could have been something that happened very quickly. We've got the Princess of Swords underneath. The sword energy is always fast. Looks like it. She looks like she's defending herself in this image for me. It could have been something that fell apart very quickly, but that there could have been a lot of time or legwork put into previously to this situation. But I'm feeling like it came about via some kind of rapid communication, or like sudden communication that was just so immediately like a ton of bricks is the feeling. It's just, there's a set, yeah, it's immediately heavy. So this person has still got a little bit to go to close up on the snake eating its own tail. What does that even mean? Can somebody tell me? I know it's an ancient symbol, but I just, from the top of my head, I can't think of what it means, but it clearly has significance here. Okay, the Lovers. So this is about making choices, and then we've got the 8, and it's interference, and this is the 8 of Swords. And I always hear like static when this card comes up. I hear like radio static. Some of these cards are really auditory for me at times. It's really weird. I get like hums and frequencies from them. It's really weird, but it kind of fascinates me. So interference next to the Lovers. Yeah, there's some kind of split going on here. Some kind of split. I feel like this could have been a relationship that was split, or there was a lot of like back and forth, is what I want to say. Yeah, interruptions from multiple parties is what I'm feeling, or like a lot of involvement, a lot of sudden activity. So if somebody died, which they could have done, it was like sudden activity. And 2 people taking care of it, 2 people dealing with it, or this is a relationship and there's been a split because of like significant interference and feeling possible because of these little, yeah, possible infidelity here as well, which could have been part of the shock factor here. And just underneath that we've got disappointment, the 5 of Cups. And this has got the upturned pentagram, the Venus energy coming through in that, like flip it the other way up. And that is like the blocking of the flow of love, the stagnancy of this situation. It gives me like strong depressional energy, this. And a sense of confusion as well going on here. Things being like just not making sense. I mean, look at the way the lily pads are growing. It's enforced transformation via a hardship. Yeah, and now look, I can see the butterfly in this design down here. That's the transformational energy. It feels like enforced sorrow or hardship, and a sense of feeling like hugely indecisive about, or like hugely like at the having to receive the energy rather than being in any level of control. And you know, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this headspace? How do I get out of this slough depression? How? I feel trapped. I can't get out. So it's slow going for this person. Still, they've got to take things at their own pace, and obviously their pace may alter, like depending on what happens. So I can say that like they're, you know, 3/4 of the way through or thereabouts. But that is if they continue to be healing at the pace that they've been healing at. Yeah, don't rush this process for this person in any way. This person is very fragile, I feel, still very raw in the heart space. I really just don't think that this person's going to make, is going to be able to offer their love until this is fully healed and recovered from. And I wouldn't make yourself overly available to this person. I mean, even if you want to be good friends, even you want to help guide them through it, because you could like friend zone yourself or be a counseling system for this person, which is going to set you up in the wrong footing with this individual. Because, yeah, I just feel like you need to trust your intuition on when's the right time to approach this person. 10 of Swords. Oh, it's like one of the worst 10 of Swords of any card deck, I think. And it's because it's just so... The feeling of the red and the orange and the kind of sharp, twisted nature of this card, it just feels like shattered glass, or it's fragmentation somehow, and it's called ruin. I mean, it doesn't muck about, does it, with its like phrases, ruin, you know. But at the same time, I feel like, yeah, and then underneath we've got the Tower. So this is what I mean, like sudden crashing. That's a bit buggered, that card, but sudden crashing heartbreak, or heartache, or betrayal, or which can be felt again when you lose somebody, because there's shock, and then there's the sense of like feeling cheated when somebody dies as well as part of the process too. So I feel like it was monstrously difficult. But if it's another person that has caused this person is going to have issues with trust. That's going to be a major factor in this relationship. So yeah, don't put any pressure on this person, and you know, don't make yourself too available, but offer support if necessary. I mean, it's up to you really what you do with this situation, but if you're going in expecting anything at this stage, you might want to check your motivations, or yeah, just keep a check on yourself is what I'd say, and make sure that your own desire for this situation to be like coming to fruition, which I can see why there'd be an excitement about it, but I feel like you need to kind of curb that if you're feeling in any way towards like pushing or nudging this person. This person, I feel, has to be the one that sets the pace here, because they've been injured in a situation. I'm not saying you haven't at all, but this is a major frequency that I'm picking up on here, and they're not quite out of it. And if you have been through something like this, well, you know how it goes. So I know I'm preaching to the converted. Anyway, I feel like down the road there could be a lot of this. Ace of Wands, fiery, new beginning, passionate, full of energy and full of life and enthusiasm and magic, but that energy takes time to return, as we all know. Fortune. I love this card. It's so magnificent. Look at that. Yeah, I'm hearing be constant and authentic, and be yourself, and I'm hearing be regal. That's a really interesting phrase I'm hearing, but be regal is what I'm getting there. There has been an ending. This is one of the most spectacular death cards ever. I mean, check it out. It's rock and roll, this card, right? I mean, look at it. It's like strings of a guitar or something, just like weaving into existence. It's freaking amazing. It's like the dancing skeleton, dance macabre kind of thing. It's amazing. Anyway, this death energy gives me like hugely positive frequency when I see this card, because I feel like there's an enormous rebirth going on in this situation. And for me, it's like there's some kind of genetic energy behind that too. Look, I'm seeing like the genetic structure in my mind. And it's kind of releasing on something or letting go. It's laying to rest. Plus, you know, the sheave was the harvest tool. So the harvesting of the souls is this kind of frequency that is going on. Yeah, it's separating something that needed to be released. It was not required anymore. It's for an elevation. And fortune is, you know, in general, a good sense of abundance and good fortune. And combined next to the death card here, it doesn't feel like bad fortune. It feels like good fortune in the transformation. There's a lot of good energy in the transformation. If this person gets out of their head, if they end that overthinking. But it's all part of the healing process. Completion, 4 of wands, which immediately gives me like soul connection energy. And again, it's that wheel. It's the wheel, the fortune's wheel. It's this wheel. It's the snake eating its own tail. That's the feeling of this. It's one of these frequencies. And then we've got the Page of Cups. It does feel like this could be a very positive relationship. But something needs to be completed in order for the activation of this romantic or heartfelt energy in this space. And it is this person's transformational healing cycle. And Spirit is actually saying that this, obviously that would be different for different people, but they don't want to be too specific about this because it's kind of really private to this person that they get to, and part of the nature of the relationship that you may get to a stage where they can discuss this with you. And if they do discuss this with you, it's very personal to them. So consider yourself honoured if they share that with you, because I feel like they would feel very comfortable being vulnerable, which is a good indicator that this person's starting to feel safer if they start to talk about things that have bothered them. But I would treat it like 0 expectations at this point in time. 0 expectations, just keep it friendly and keep observing this situation would be my advice here. I'll see if Spirit has got anything else to say. Ooh. Sorry, too many. Feels like a nice link though, a really nice connection, possible soul connection here. You know when you know, and you usually know instantly. Yeah. Again, oppression. I feel like it's just saying, and we've got prudence underneath. I feel like it's saying, just be prudent, just hold back a little, don't feel burdened, or don't pick up the burden for this other person in any way. Maintain a level of distance. Yeah, that's what I'm getting there. I love this card, it's so beautiful. Look at its twisty trunk. Anyway, I'm going to stop wumbling on about the Thoth deck, but I am a big fan. Imagine having an original plate of one of Frida Harris's artworks. God, I bet that was worth a small fortune. Anyway, that's all I've got for you. So yeah, sorry there wasn't more to say on that one, but it's a big deal whatever this person's gone through. So really hope that resonated for you. And if it did, please like, subscribe, share, and drop me a comment. Lovely to hear from you. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye. Mwah. Hello, my lovelies. I'm recording this for the umpteenth time. I'm seriously, it's because there's 2 energy streams here, and it's taken me a while to kind of go, well, how the hell am I getting this energy when I'm getting this energy too? And that's because there's 2 sets of people in this space, and one set is really like heads up, because my guide is up in here, and he's in his crow form, and when he's in his crow form, he's quite mischievous, and he just like shouts out words at me. And I'm hearing player, player, for this energy stream. But the other side, I am hearing like there is a third party frequency, but it's not another person. And that's actually a fundamental part of who this person is, or maybe this is you with this third party frequency. But this is either a calling or a passion or a career, or maybe even a dependent, like a child, or maybe an elderly person up here. So it could be another person, but it's unlikely to be. For most of these people, it's kind of like a calling. And that feels like a really decent person, is what I want to say, with possible issues around flexibility, but we'll get to that. The other side, player is is an energy frequency that I am very, very suspicious of. This frequency, I would be very wary of this energy. There's somebody here is in a relationship, and it could be the person that you're crushing on. If it's you, then I wouldn't meddle with this energy, because the mutually felt attraction in this frequency is really strong. And in that, I feel like it would be very difficult to avoid something happening. So it's best to kind of like take a 3-mile detour around it, would be my advice. Like, it's got that danger zone energy that has a very strong energetic pull and a possible karma attachment there. And sometimes you have to kind of inevitability walk into your karma, but you learn by doing that it's a really bad idea not to. Really bad. So from personal experience, I would highly recommend a 3-mile detour of this person. There's real deceptive energy in this person's space, and I feel like they are absolutely brilliant, and I mean brilliant, at mirroring to you that they feel as excited, as in love, as butterflies in their stomach, as, you know, joyfully thrilled to see you. Or like, I really feel like they're very good at presenting this mutually felt attraction in order to feed yours and to be able to pick the time frame whereby they can make a move. I mean, this is seriously strategic. This is strategic, well practiced strategic energy, because this person is charming, really, really charming. They may even be a very spiritual person, or seem to be. That's what my guide is saying. He's like, seem to be. I was like, yeah, okay, player. But this is not the kind of player that, I mean, because I don't have an issue if anybody wants to be like promiscuous as hell, they can do that. They have every right. But be open about it. Be like really transparent about it. Be like, yeah, I'm a non-committal so-and-so. Are you interested? Do you know what I mean? You kind of respect that. Like, you're probably going to say no, but you kind of respect that. And the reason why this person is deceptive, it's because that they like to convince people that there's like a spiritual or emotional connection in this space that is kind of unprecedented or different, and for that can be very flattering, or it can be just what you're looking for. And this person will study you to find out what you're looking for. And then because they will have perceived you as the thing that they want to conquer next. And it could be that this person has another relationship on side that is like a long-term gig. It could be something like that as well here. For most of them, I think they're just serial, is what I want to say. But if they're in a relationship, they're serial within the relationship, which is fucked up. So there you go. That's my psychological breakdown, is that's a fucked up relationship. And this person, it's because this person, Spirit is saying, is very good at convincing people that they are hang on. Yeah, I lost my thread there, and this keeps happening in this fucking reading, because I feel like this person really doesn't want me to call them out. And I'm just going to say it like I'm bloody calling this person. That they should flex around their third party. That was the end of that sentence. They're really good at convincing people that you should be the one that flexes to the situation which suits them and only them. Even if there's another person involved, they will try and convince you that that's like the best setup. They want what they want. This person is entirely inflexible about their own needs and their own desires and their own appetites. So if you are in alignment with what they feel like they want, then you're going to be the absolute center of their focus until you start to decide that you might mention what you want. And then it's going to get really complicated here. Now, in recording these readings before, I kept hearing the word I was. Now, this is a rune. I wrote it down. Look, it looks like this. It's a runic symbol. I don't know the runes particularly well, so I had to go and have a look at it. It's associated with shielding and preparing for trouble ahead. So just be, what I feel here, what I feel is going on, because my guide is up in this reading as well, and he's a very protective energy. I've also a heads up energy, and he's in crow form, which is literal heads up in a lot of cultures across the world. It literally kind of says, by the way, you might have to prepare yourself here. This is the same kind of vibe that's coming through with this. If you choose to involve with this person, be aware that up ahead, my guide is saying, and he's literally going, carnage, carnage. So yeah, blurting out words. And carnage is what's up ahead if you choose to go this way. And it really, like, be very careful. Now, thank you for sticking around if that is not your person with the third party. And now we're going to talk all about your third party energy. So this person may well have a calling. Now, what Spirit is showing me is he's yeah, my guy's well up in this, but he's basically like presenting me with like a version of a Nigel Kennedy holding his violin, and he's a virtuoso violinist who I have seen live, who's amazing, absolutely amazing. He kind of shuffles onto stage looking like he got dressed in the dark and straight out of the, I don't know, the 90s with a football shirt on or whatever. He's so fucking chill, with like papers here and there and forgetting where he's at in terms of like the scheduling and stuff, and then blowing your mind with the most incredible violin. He is absolutely mind-blowing, right? So what Spirit is saying is that he's basically married to his violin. And there may be a third party frequency here where your person's kind of married to something, and it could be a calling like this, or like a talent, is what I'm getting. Or it could be a person, if it's a child, or if it's like a dependent, an elderly dependent or something like that. Not getting that for so much of them though. What I'm actually feeling here is that it's a job or some kind of frequency to do with like ambition, or feeling that you need to do this in the world. This is who you are and this is who you're meant to be. And it's like a life calling. And with that Nigel Kennedy allegory, what I'm also getting is travel may be an issue. This person could travel a lot, or there could be that's what's coming up here. There's a lot of travel in this situation, potentially. Or they could shuffle backwards and forwards between one location and another location. That's also what's going on here. Yeah, I feel that you kind of have to accept them as part of the package. Be prepared to play second fiddle is what Crow is saying. I'm sorry about his dad jokes. But there we go. If you can't do that, or you don't want that, that might be an issue in this relationship, because I feel like there's very little flexibility around this. Very little flexibility. It kind of is your person's calling, or it's something that they're deeply invested in here, and it's just part of their own identity, it's part of who they are. And to take it away from them, or to try and remove it, would be to try to deny others, because if Nigel Kennedy's violin was prized away from him, there would be a lot of people that'd be very sad about that, including Nigel, I'm sure, but many others. So it's that kind of frequency whereby they might be doing something because they're kind of called to do it within a community or arena, or a type of work. Is what I'm feeling, and therefore there has to be an acceptance that this is who they are. Or maybe they're away for intervals, or maybe they travel a lot. Maybe they travel a lot here. Footprints, direction. That's totally giving me that travel-y vibe. Yeah, it's giving me that travel-y vibe. I feel like this person does like have a pathway they know they want to walk, or they at least have a plan maybe for the next 2 to 10 years kind of thing. It's kind of, it could be their career development. It could be something like that. I feel like this person is very rooted. They do have like strong earth-based energy. Again, that kind of runic flavor, which, yeah, it's very interesting. Okay, so I'm being told to come back to the runic energy, and I did write a couple of things down. I know I briefly showed you my terrible bit of paper like before, but what I've actually written here is protection equals common sense. So there's common sense found. Common sense in itself will be protective in this experience, if that's necessary, because I feel like with the player energy it is necessary. But what I'm being drawn to is the fact that this rune, and that's the shape of it if you want to do some research, is related to the yew tree. And Crow says that I need to talk about the yew tree a little bit. So he's like, yeah, just talk about it. I'm like, okay, fine. So yew trees are ancient. They're like, they live for thousands of years. They're associated in the Celtic cultures with being the archway, the doorway, if you like, into the underworld, kind of like hell in the Nordic mythologies, like the female goddess Hel, that is like daughter of Loki, who had held access to that realm. There's this kind of association. So a death energy is coming up here, which is interesting because that's come out in a number of readings actually, that I'm seeing the death card here. What I feel is happening in regards to that is that there's, okay, Crow is saying something needs to be laid to rest. And this could be for you, this frequency. I think for most of you, it actually is relating to you. Something needs to be put to bed, laid to rest. That's what I'm getting. And the yew tree is very powerful for any level of ritual whereby you want to release on an energy. It's incredibly powerful. And for those of you who are interested in magical practice, I'm being told that Spirit very much recommends a small ritual with yew tree. If yew tree doesn't grow in your region, you need to be going for a tree that is associated with the ancestry, and therefore possibly the tree that lives the longest in your environment. Or if there is a tree that is associated with the keys, with death and transformation, that's also totally acceptable. This is all about like connection to the ancestry, because it's likely to have both in that energy, because it's sort of the shamanic cultures sees that as like access to the ancestral heritage here. And I am being, for me, yew trees do hold like a library of information that have an incredible sort of wisdom attached, and very, very powerful magic. So it's not the kind of energy you want to kind of take flippantly or lightly, because you could be regretting it for years to come. So what Crow is saying with this frequency is that you gotta mean it. You gotta mean it when you let go of something. For some of you, this could be an ancestor that's asking that you mark their passing in a way that honors the lineage, or just even to honor your own lineage or human lineage. If that's been something that's kind of, you're already kind of feeling pulled towards, my guide is saying definitely go for some kind of ritual which honors your heritage or your ancestral wisdom or line. I don't quite know why, it's bizarre why this is coming up. Crow's very into ritual and magic. Like, I often defer to him, and he is saying that, that Spirit would recommend a practical engagement with them in the form of something symbolic or some kind of gifting. You could even ask a yew tree to remove deception, or remove, so if you feel like you're dealing with the player energy, that's the first frequency I was talking about, then this is the energy that you can ask to override strong desire or strong mutual attraction, because it's a powerful energy. That's what I'm feeling for that. So if you want to sort of dead the energy so that it's not a danger zone for you, danger zone, then you can do that with this kind of ritual. If you like to journey, shamanic journey, you can journey with the you, is what Spirit is saying. Yeah. So an old tree, if there's no yew in your region, again, go for the oldest type of tree that you can find, and that is associated with this kind of transformational energy, the kind of scorpionic energy, or has that gnarly fairy tale kind of connotations where it's like a bit dark, a bit creepy. Obviously don't work with a tree that you think is creepy. That's not a good move. I know you know that, but like, you've got to feel the vibe if you're doing this. You've got to select the energy to work with here. It's very powerful, is what I'm getting. But something needs to be transformed here. It's interesting because the yew tree connects the divine to the mundane. So this is real world stuff connected in a spiritual way. And I am feeling that for pretty much everybody here, there is this recognition of spiritual energy, or this recognition of past life frequency. And it feels deep rooted, and it feels like very exciting on one side when you're dealing with a person who's got the kind of calling, because I feel like it's really mutually felt. It's really exciting. You're both peeking at each other. I'm hearing, I was looking back at you to see you looking back at me to see me looking back at you. So you both into each other. There's this recognition. There's this like, ooh, heads up, and like, yeah, butterflies in the stomach and all. It's how a crush should feel. It's how a crush should feel. It's meant to aliven, awaken, ignite, inspire. It's got all this frequency with it. So if there's something that you've been held back by in the past, and you just want to like fully make sure that is removed, what this kind of ritual will do is enable you to create like a space in your world for something new to come in. It's this kind of energetic space where you let something light. It's kind of a stillness is what I'm getting, like a hush or a softness, or it's like when the snow falls and everything's quiet, and then there's activity afterwards, but it's like hush in the middle where everything's like blanketed and quiet. It's it's really interesting, and it does have that energy of winter or dormancy about this frequency as well, this kind of quiet space or quiet lull. So maybe that something is happening. Maybe there's a lull here in your communication, or you're not quite sure what happens now. It's kind of an inhalation is what I'm getting at. And now kind of an energy. So maybe there's a little bit of a pulled back frequency before there's a kind of magnetism occurring. Yeah, there's a kind of magnetism going on in this space, which is really, really awesome. So I feel with the mutual energy going on up here, there's such a strong flavour of that in this reading. For me, there's such a strong flavour. I feel like you know that the other person's into you and vice versa. And again, it's really delightful is what I want to say. Again, like little critters like sort of peeking at each other. That's what I'm getting. It's very playful. And the inevitability about this frequency, that because of this energetic, feels like it's definitely going to become something more than just a crush. It feels like it's like going to become a relationship. Out of all the stacks, this is what it feels like for me up here. And there, I mentioned at the beginning that it could be a problem with flexibility, and I feel like that is it feels like maybe for your person that other partners or maybe different scenarios have kind of tried to pull them away from this passion or calling or life path, or maybe they just haven't had to worry about factoring anyone else into that equation for a while. That could be the situation here as well. And therefore I feel that they're a little protective about this frequency, a little protective about anyone interrupting that relationship. So there could be a need, there could be a bit of brittleness around this person in terms of being able to kind of factor in another component here. And I feel as well this flexibility could be mirrored in you, this situation of maybe feeling a little bit rigid about feeling that you have to compromise to create room for it also. But this requires flex on both sides is what I'm getting. It's like a two-way street. That relationship between the divine and the mundane is the connective energy. How do we make this work in the practical? Because it does feel like a divine connection, and I feel like that's another aspect of this rune that I'm picking up, that this divine energy is connective flow. It has to be rooted in reality, and that has to work for both of you in a practical sense, in a way that carves out space where you get to be your own dynamic together. And there needs to, and I feel like if this is articulated early in this relationship, if you come to it early and say, look, like, here's what I need and here's what I'm willing to flex on, this won't cause problems down the road, because it will be established so early on that it's something that you can come to sort of agreement with. Okay, I will accept this if you accept that it needs to flex on your hand over here. That's what I would like. So this is about negotiating, and I think it's important for both of you, for some reason, to negotiate your needs in the relationship quite early on and have that understood. And then I feel like there can be a relaxation around the fact that neither of you are going to compromise each other's selfness or, passion spaces, or because it could be that, you also feel that you have a calling, or there's a lot of mirroring energy up in this space for me. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much all I've got for you on this one. I don't know what else to say. I could talk a little bit about the frequency of the player, but I kind of don't want to feed that energy, because I really just don't get a good vibe with this person. And I feel like you're going to have to make some kind of escape or slip out the back door kind of frequency, or to get away from this energy if it's already like engaged or connected, because this person will pursue. And when they've set their sight on something, they do not like to back down, is what I'm getting. They do not like to feel, because they've set themselves up a challenge, right? And if that challenge is you, they like to perceive themselves as winning, and they don't want to feel like they're losing. And I don't feel like this person is used to or likes rejection. I feel like that is why my guide is saying call in the help of higher force frequency, in order to be able to make sure that you've got strong energetic at your back, like that it means business, that it's ancestral energetic, that you're shielded, that your common sense will not let like an illusionary space or an over romanticized space like blind you to this frequency, because this person is a glamoring expert. That is what I am told. So glamoring is what the fae folk used to do in order to be able to kind of make themselves truly beautiful. It's associated with the mythological legends of like being able to wear like a shiny, attractive form. And I feel like this person has this kind of chameleon kind of capability of doing this. They're well versed, they're well practiced. So again, you'll know, or you'll have definitely got like red flags already, or feel a kind of wariness or suspicion. I really don't think that with either group it's not something that's already kind of been read a little bit here. But, the first attraction is an attraction to the kind of the dangerous energy of that, or the edges, or the sheer passion, or a kind of, the excitement of the space. So be aware, all that glitters is not gold. And it really, this is not, it's not gold, it's carnage. Okay, well, I am being told by my guide that you can call on his frequency if you would like as well at any given time. He has very protective force, a bit of a tribal energetic, a consciousness. that he belongs to. There's like a pod of them. There's a couple of hundred maybe. I don't know exactly, but that's my vibe on his energy, is that there's a tribal frequency. So you can call on that tribal energy should you want to, and allow it to guide you, or it feels very much like there's a lot of auricular energetic involved in this space. So I'm going to ask like if there's anything else. I haven't yet stopped. Hang on. Precision, numerology. This is like, and then the I Ching change, and then you've got another divination system going on down here. So you could have strong auricular capability or strong like ovate energy, like high priestess. But I feel like, this is the Book of Changes. So this is like, ask spirit. That's what I'm getting. Ask spirit, sit with spirit, like journey with spirit, like be in connection with spirit during this process, and be precisional about what it is that you want, what kind of frequency you're dealing with. Know the landscape before you enter into it is also what I'm feeling. Take the guidebook, because the I Ching is like a landscape-based divination system. It's basically like a map, and that's how I describe tarot to people as well. It's like a map, it's a compass, it's a spiritual, you are here, and here's the view from where you're standing. So like, be precise about where you're at already in order to have a good idea of what you want this to become. The second option, the person with the calling, this could be an amazing relationship, is what I'm feeling. Just amazing, like really on the level. Practical yet spiritual. It's got it all. But just bear in mind, if you're dealing with a first frequency, then like real heads up energy there. And I think that's all I've got for you. I'm going to stop there. Okay, I really hope it resonated, and if it did, please like, subscribe and share, and drop me a comment. It's so lovely to hear from you. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.